Hey guys, I just got in the Injora replica TRX4 chassis this afternoon, today. I'm not really into the whole unboxing thing, but here's everything that came in the box. You get 4 shock towers. Here's a front, a rear, another front, another rear. You get TRX4 style body post mounting. It's also nice because it links the shock towers together. Piece of Velcro, a bag full of miscellaneous hardware, and an aluminum servo horn. One thing I want to note that I thought was really neat about this entire chassis is that the front shock towers give you the option to run your panhard track bar mount on either side of the chassis. I mean, I'm not planning on running track bars on this build, but I thought that was pretty cool either way. Here is the actual chassis as it comes built. It has a 35 turn brushed motor. It doesn't say if it's reverse or not, you know, as in if this is made for portals or straight axles. I have no idea what the gearing is like inside of it. But it did also come with an instruction manual, and from looking at the instruction manual, it really does look like an exact replica of a TRX4 inside the transmission. So I'm guessing that they didn't even really pay that much attention, and that it's probably geared for portal, and that it's probably a rocket ship with straight axles, which is something I'm really hoping for, because that would really benefit me with what I'm going to use it for. Now, basically why I wanted this is because it's 2-speed, and if they did a good job replicating that TRX4 transmission, then I know I'm not going to have to be concerned about it whatsoever. It also gives me a very real, lifelike frame to build off of, and a very low CG. I don't know if I'm going to use this battery tray or not, so I'm going to leave it in there for now. I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen my F-150 in my other videos. I always wanted this to be more of a Baja truck, and no matter how many times I tried miscellaneous element spur gears, and I mean I went up to a 78 tooth spur, or down to a 78 tooth spur, which is the smallest you can get from Team Associated, and then up to a 24 tooth pinion, and I think that was the biggest I could fit, and it still wasn't fast enough. If you look up the Element RC Jump compilation, that's what that gearing is. So I ended up just saying F it and going back to crawler status on this body. However, now that I have this, I plan on going back to a Baja build, a 2-wheel drive Baja build. Kind of like a Kyosho Outlaw Rampage kind of thing. I was planning on buying a Kyosho Outlaw Rampage. I joined the forums and I noticed that everyone on there is deleting the rear motor on axle and then going with whatever rear axle they decide to go with, and then doing normally a Wraith transmission. So I just decided to build my own from scratch. So what other parts did I decide to buy besides this Injora chassis? I bought Bandit arms from Atraxis Bandit. Bought 2-wheel drive caster blocks for whatever Traxxas vehicle you want it to be for. I bought the hub carriers, and I already have the stub shafts, and bought a bunch of bearings, even though I already know I have enough, and I'm sure I'll use some cheap Amazon servo like I normally do, because they work just fine for me, as long as I don't add a ton of brass and weight to my rigs. So I did all this on guesswork, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm going to 3D print a Traxxas bulkhead. They're all over for free on Thingiverse and stuff. And basically my arms are going to be mounted about that close together. I don't know exactly, but in whereabouts that close together. While we're sitting here looking at it, look at this awesome servo winch thing that Injora included with it. I mean, it's really cool. It has this little spool holder right here where your spool will go, and a little guide for your wire. I mean, that's cool. They did a good job with it. So, long travel, Bandit arms. And the front should get me really close to the right width, to where with, you know, spacers or offset of wheels to where I can get the rear to match. Here we go. Axial AR44 for the rear. Not worried about that crap breaking, and if it does, then I'll get a 3-piece axle and maybe get an aluminum one. We'll see. Trial and error. Yeah. RPM on everything that I could. My local hobby shop did not have the Bandit lowers in RPM, so I bought the Traxxas brand. But these will stick about here. So, man, even just using a Traxxas bulkhead might get me really close to where I need to be. We will see in the upcoming video. I just figured I wanted to let all of you know what I've been working on and why the International Harvester might end up taking a little bit of a back burner point for a little while. Look how good that it's going to line up right there. I might have, I don't know. It's going to be a Baja truck, but just because of how cool that servo winch is, I kind of maybe want to add a winch up there. We'll see. Alright, you guys will see more in the upcoming videos, and stay tuned.